Parks and Rec Committee meeting to order. Today is Monday, May 15th, 5 p.m. Roll call starting from my left.
Sue Krieger.
Melissa Rhodes.
Bob Barheit and
Paul Pasolini.
Paul Pisolini is here. I'm going to go easy on Paul. The certified posting of the meeting.
All right. So certify that on Thursday, May 11th, the agenda for the Town of Rome Parks and Recreation Committee meeting for Monday, May 15th, 2023 was emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 9:22 a.m. It was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 9:25 a.m., posted at the Quick Trip LLC at 9:30 a.m., and posted at the Nakusa Port Edward State Bank at 9:37 a.m.
Thanks, Sue. Can we have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Can we just move number 7 to action items for approval of the minutes, please? Instead of no action contemplated.
Oh, yes, I saw that and I almost did that. We'll do it next time, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have no citizen comments.
No comment cards received.
Okay, so we'll skip over item 5. No action contemplated except for possible referral to future agendas. Number 6, reports on park planning activities. Update on park planning activities, construction update. It seems to be going well over there. I talked to the mason. He's going to be gone for the next 2 weeks, and the reason for that is he can't veneer anymore, at least until the roof gets on. So they're going to pour, as I understand, the floor in the storage room on tomorrow and the stage tomorrow. So after that, I would expect they'd be working to get the roof on. So and the veneer looks nice, I think, from what I've seen of it.
Yeah, the stones are if not the same, very similar to the stones that we have on the town hall building.
Mm-hmm.
But the bathrooms are all framed out, and if you haven't walked around, it's nice.
Yeah.
The chimney looks kind of cool, and
It's tapered.
you kind of see it raised up in the middle of the park.
And do we have any information from Advantage Plumbing for the septic?
They did not give me a date for start yet, but they do know that we want it all done by August.
Yeah,
Eric and I just had a conversation that we would like it completed for August.
right. But there's no reason why they couldn't get it started anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it. It's really not on the agenda, but in regard to the park planning activities here, I do not have a good idea, Jamie, as to how much money we'll have at the end of this year. I'd like to maybe sit down with you and look at the carryover that we have, and look at the bills we have coming up, and look at any other money that's coming in from our grants.
So we will have a better idea of that very shortly, because the budget will be, the audit will be finalized, and then we'll have carryover done. We will have more carryover, because last year we budgeted that we would be further with the band shell project, and then got that delay. So you will see a larger carry forward.
It should be a pretty
brought.
good sized carryover,
Yes.
but we're gonna have good sized bills too.
Yeah. So once we know that number from the auditors, then we can take it that next step, which we should have very shortly.
Okay. I'm gonna skip over item 7 then. Item 8, grants. All 3 of these grants are filed. The WEDAC grant for Vibrant Spaces. The ARP Community Challenge grant has been filed, and the Knowles Nelson was filed, and we talked to our grant specialist, and the timing for that is just not right. You really can't buy materials and have anything going until after the grant is approved, and the grant won't be approved if we got it until October sometime. So the timing is just not right. So Jamie and I talked about it, and we just decided to withdraw that grant. So we're going to scratch that one.
We can try again for other projects for that grant, but
Yes.
we already have the materials purchased, so we can't.
Well, we get a little further along with the pickleball court planning, and we can start applying for grants on that. Okay, items, discussion and possible action on the following items. Number 7, approval of the meeting minutes of March 20th. That's not right. It'd be April, whenever our last meeting was in April, 15th or 14th.
17th, April 17th.
So can we have a motion to approve the April 17th meeting minutes? I'll second it. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item 9, Walden Park shoreline planting, site prep, the electric, water sprinklers, and maintenance. Melissa? And I see Dave is here too.
So we just had a little meeting, we're moving along pretty well. We, just got our final, we gotta meet one last time at the site, get everything marked out. We just, and then once we do that, the sprinkler guy will come in and give his estimate, and the electrician will give an estimate, and then we should be able to start writing the grant. So,
Okay, so have all your costs down then.
we had to wait to make the final decision where everything was gonna go before the sprinkler guy could come in and do his, but,
Yeah, but was it Brad that looked at the site?
Brad and I met out there.
And some recommended changes, so now we
Yeah,
can address those.
Yeah, he said we do not need a culvert out there, he's gonna fill in the ditch a little bit with some gravel, he's gonna just take care of that. He's gonna remove that big tree because the bark is starting to fall off from it. He's not gonna do it anytime soon, but he's got until whenever to do that. And I told him if he did that, we would replace it with like 4 or more other trees in different areas. And the walking path, we gotta just nail down the exact location we're gonna put that. And I
Okay.
think we kinda decided we're gonna put the,
Now that the kayak launch is in a site instead of projected here, or here.
and we kinda decided we're gonna put the well point near the walking path, so that when people come up the walking path, they can rinse their feet off and stuff. So we kinda have that location figured out now, so we can proceed with the rest of the estimate, so. I would say by next
Gonna
month we
have the
should.
hand pump there once
I
we're
was
done.
gonna say,
She can get her hand pumped, yes. And he said no problem, he like was no problem at all, and I said, can we do that? Well, sure, we can do that.
Just one other thing is, in our item here, we mentioned that the DNR grant is due the 15th of November, but I also want us to know this site, that there's a pre-application due on the 15th of September. And during that pre-application process, the DNR reviews your proposal, advises you whether there are any changes made, whether you could do something to strengthen it, or if there are any gaps in it. So anyway, so the first deadline we need to keep in mind is mid-September.
when you talk to the well guy, whoever that is, you might want to ask him about a sand point. You're so close to the lake there.
Oh,
We
it
are,
is,
yeah.
yep.
Ah.
In fact, that kind of narrows the pool of contractors, because not
Yeah.
a lot of people do sand points anymore.
But that would lower the cost
Yeah.
Yes, that's
a
what
lot.
we are doing.
Yep,
We're
yeah,
gonna
that's
do-
what we're proposing.
We're gonna do, well, that's what we're hoping to do, is do a sand point, it's gotta be 25 feet from the highest water point. And then it's gotta be a depth of, we've got all the information, like
Great.
20 feet or 10 feet, whichever is greater. He's got a guy that does them for him, the sprinkler guy, so this is
And we'll put out
a
request
RFP.
for proposals, to get competition on all these
yes.
larger items too, before it's finalized.
Jamie, we've got like 3 or 4 RFPs that we're going to be asking for. Are you going to need some help with that?
For this, though, it won't be until after we know we get the grant, so we've got some time that we could have them put together and
Okay.
ready to go.
There's a couple other ones here on the agenda too.
Yeah, but these ones won't be for a little while.
Okay. If you need help on those,
Yep.
call and I'll be glad to come in and help you. Or you can send me stuff and I'll do it at home. The next item is item 10, disc golf planning. Staking out of the lot lines, I guess, is the first thing. We're looking for an RFP for that, for a surveyor.
So we just put a pin in that for a moment because we have the agreement back at the school district. We're just waiting to get the signed agreement back before we would proceed. So Sue and I had just chatted quickly right before the meeting that we'll reach out to Terry because he's transitioning, he's retiring from the school district. but they were sent it, we're just waiting to get a signed agreement back in hand before we would go out to survey the property.
Okay.
So will he no longer be in charge of that forest land then?
No, the school district still will be, he just won't be the superintendent. They'll have a new superintendent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also a good opportunity if we reach out just to mention to Terry if he could leave some documentation for whoever the new superintendent is about the project.
And we decided a couple meetings ago that we would have a disc golf subcommittee, and I think there are some names already have been submitted for that.
Yeah, there's some interest. And we'll pull together a committee meeting. We're waiting to get that signed agreement back
okay.
before we pulled it together.
And same thing for the RFP for the design.
Do we have to wait till our next meeting to get rolling on that though?
We don't, we'll reach back out to Terry and see if we can get a signed agreement back, or if, what meeting it's on, or if he needs anything else from us.
But can our subcommittee start meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
they could.
'Cause we're excited.
Yeah.
So how do we set up the subcommittee?
We'll just send out an email with all the people that have expressed interest and what time works best. Maybe we could do like a doodle poll. Maybe that would work easiest, and then whatever would be the majority time that would work.
Okay.
And then we'll do an agenda like we do for Walden.
Okay, okay.
And like today, we had people from Walden that had interest and saw the agenda and wanted to make sure that they were aware. So
That's
I would suspect we'll get other individuals that have interest that.
Okay.
Jamie, would you start the process then?
Yep, I will send a
Excellent.
doodle poll.
Okay.
Yeah, or something similar to that.
And did you want me to reach out to Terry Whitmore, or did you
If you
want
would,
to?
that would be
Okay.
great. Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, anything else on the disc golf planning? Okay, item 11, pickleball initial planning. Sue and I are lined up to go measure to see how it would lay out there with the band shell that we have. I've got to do a little bit more design work on cutting the court size down from 6 to 4. And also I've got to find out what the actual size of a basketball court probably should be. So when we get that done, we'll go out and see how it lays out and get the planning down at least as to where we're going to put it.
And I'm gonna hope that I articulate this well. I had it wrong. I was talking to Ron Blair, and Barb Blair and I had met out there for the positioning of the Rhapsody notes that will be delivered very shortly.
Right.
They hopefully will be installed by Memorial Day or shortly thereafter. But Ron said if you make the tennis court and then you have 2 pickleball courts, it does run opposite. You do have to turn it to make that work. So I'm thinking maybe we want to do the pickleball courts, because if you lay it out as a tennis court, then when you play pickleball, it rotates the opposite.
So someone's gonna be in the sun no
Sun.
matter what.
No matter what.
You don't use the same net then?
No,
Really?
because the net is lower.
Right, I know the net is lower. It's 2 inches lower, I believe, but,
Yeah, but you rotate it to get the 2 courts in.
so someone's gonna be faced into the sun.
Either way, which then I think the conversation is, do you just want to do pickleball and not tennis courts? So there isn't that situation where someone plays in the sun.
Or we could have a separate tennis court face the same way as the pickleball courts.
If you had enough space, yeah.
I'm sure we do. All right, we'll think about that. But I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until we were having that conversation, and he said, then you have to, it rotates.
Because I thought it was laid out over there at Arrowhead for tennis courts as well.
Not at the South Lake Center.
Not,
Nope, those were all pickleball.
okay,
They put the tennis courts over by the
yeah,
clubhouse.
that's right.
Yeah, they kept them separate.
Yeah.
It might be a question worth asking, because I'm not a tennis player, so I'm not sure. What's the traffic on the tennis courts at Arrowhead too? I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I think, did we ask that?
Yeah, Joel didn't say much about that because we weren't really concerned about it. We can ask him.
Could that be a question in that survey that's going out too, that,
Potentially.
Yeah, that'd be good for that.
Actually, yeah.
see how many people in the community actually play tennis?
Okay, anything else on pickleball then? We got a ways to go anyway because of the money in the budget. Next item is the comprehensive outdoor planning. I see Jamie's got something here from,
Yep, so I asked Jeff, you'll see in his email, no worries about tone, cause I was like, it's not that we don't like the proposal, we're just wondering what if we didn't wanna do all of it, couldn't maybe not do? So, he very nicely shared in red things that could be discretionary with our update of the court plan, given that we have an existing court plan, and what's the cost that's associated with them. So then you can see his note that my recommendation is to, Jeff's recommendation is to retain at least one of the following: the Park and Rec survey, the VPS, which is the virtual preference survey, / engagement session. Given the VPS, that virtual
visual.
preferences was part of the previous corp, that's a relatively easy cut. With respect to the others, I would suggest leaning towards the survey. The argument for the working session is to have a detailed session with the committee prior to the presentation to the public. As an alternative, the committee could review a draft on its own and provide recommendation revisions to him directly, so.
Yeah, as I recall, the visual preference survey was, he showed pictures to everyone, and you voted on, or you put a number on what you thought about that, and then they summarized it, and that kind of ordered the preference of items that you might want to work on. But, I don't know, I think we could probably do away with that maybe, and just go with the other items that he's got there.
So that would, if you didn't do the visual preference survey, that would be the savings of the $728 on the total, but.
So that'd bring us down to like $6,300, something like that. What does anybody else feel about that?
I agree.
Okay, looks like we're all in agreement then.
So I think that this is listed as, you could take an action item. I think what you, if we're comfortable with that, we would want a motion to approve doing the updated court with Jeff Sanders and his company minus the VPS survey, forwarded to town board, and then the actual agreement would go for town board for approval, for signature.
Yeah, we also, I thought we were gonna ask him if we could get this done by November, December?
Yeah, and that should not be an issue.
Okay, good. Okay, can we have a motion for that then?
Are we gonna have a not to exceed figure? Are we gonna have a not to exceed? What at 6,300?
Yeah,
Let me just do
be
the
6,300 even, I think.
1,082 minus 6,300 even.
Okay, I'd put that in there too. Not to exceed 60.
Motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of having Jeff Sanders do the corp planning for us again for $6,300, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving on, item 13, next agenda meeting items. Anything you want to see added to the agenda?
Were we gonna try to, still trying to kick around some ideas of some more events we were gonna try to do at the town park, or where are we at with that?
As far as fundraisers, we weren't gonna do the concert series like we did last year with Visit Rome. So if there was anything like that that we wanted to do, we could potentially talk about that next month, those would start. We should probably talk if we wanna do the swap meet again and planning for that, because that would be Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we did like $600.
And I think we could do better this year too, because like we talked about, well, we can talk about it the next time when it's on the agenda, but we talked about
Yeah,
doing
we
a few
talked about
changes.
expanding it a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah, so maybe talk,
let's bring that back, yeah.
swap meet and or other fundraisers for the summer.
Okay.
I had a question
Okay,
for
we'll
you.
add that to the agenda then. Anything else?
Just a question or clarification. The concerts, are they still going to happen this year?
So the Gather by the Gazebos will still happen on the second Tuesday of June, July, and August.
Okay,
That's a partnership with Heart of Wisconsin.
okay.
Those will still occur. And then Visit Rome has a concert partnership with Dove's Nest in early August, bringing back Art Stevenson and High Water.
Okay.
So that's what we would have this summer so far. And High Water knows that if the band shell's not done, they'll do gazebo. They're comfortable either way.
Okay.
Who commented on the flyer that there was gonna be a concert at the park?
Me, because I kind of went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think it was going to be done till mid-August, September, and I was like, oh, wow. So,
So how was that, Jamie? I didn't see that.
How was
Was there a concert planned for the band shell already?
it says that it'll be in Rome Town Center, yes. But again, Art and Stevenson is comfortable either way. If he does the band shell or he does the gazebo. They played in the gazebo last year, so they know the setup there, but if they can play in the band shell, they'll gladly do that. He's very flexible.
Is that for the Dove's Nest?
That's for the Dove's
Okay,
Nest.
okay.
That's a fundraiser for the Dove's Nest that they're partnering with Visit Rome on. And then the other three are for Heart of Wisconsin.
Yeah, as we get closer to mid-August or August the 9th is actual date that is planned to be done, we can talk maybe with Visit Rome about an opening concert for that then.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, our concert with Southbound, right? That was in the fall.
Mhm.
And we had that was a beautiful night.
yes,
Oh, it was beautiful.
fall is a great time for those. As long as it doesn't rain.
Okay, we'll add the swap meet and anything else?
Fundraisers, yeah, and the concert.
The opening band shell concert?
Can we kind of cover the budget then? Like you said you were gonna, so we know what we kind of have for,
Hopefully we would have carry forward by then, and I can tell you where we are to date with payment of bills for the band shell, so we could have an idea. Yep.
Yeah, I think we can,
Yeah.
as soon as we get the carryover number, we can figure out the rest of it pretty quickly.
Maybe there'll be other things that we can share by that time, and that would be, we would have a good idea of potential numbers.
Okay, the next meeting for Parks and Rec I have down on June 19th. Is everybody okay with that, or want to change it?
Oh, that's good.
It's good for Paul?
Yeah, that's good.
it's good for me.
Okay, June 19th it is then. And having concluded our agenda, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.
Right.
Adjournment 5:23 p.m.